so ne mpomudin ho ensem kuma twetwen so beba so ni nyina ya de chinso madwumadi said yesi ahyehye no na no pay kame ho e yempe this sweet chocolate drink ni bi nom eno na boa na ma ya hoden etumi ko enyuma so sanse bie ntirinum emma moja no ewurewure mu kama ensu your special mineral water sanso na bank de best point ho na iska 72 no be ntem edi ama best assurance ensi achiba no rabeji bie na okwo enim na wachi so aye kama na for best pension first kan koto ba bia bra wa yemre no na onsan kasika no sansa homeje brede na hode no ekofom you2 added salt na for need fufu need abenkwan choba for no makai mo miensan munya bia eboa pa masika ba mboto nto sansa aduano no obi enye ready na wawie emamo mo tobi na tobi ansa no mo akwadwuma Anapa yenranse no na edan ni edi achebo gatanga ewo eye tifi epie atoy mantemu eho na Ghana mampani edi Ghana adwumayefo nyina anim ekohye fa ewiase nyina fa omo hye edema adwumayefo Ghana so ye chefa ewom no se ye kohya na ye hye wonfa na Ghana mampani na adodan kwa kufu ado edi to adwumayefo anim se ebase ahomegye sika ye aban odwen ho pa na nyina mu nso no se ye totontoto na Ghana ka ye de ye hwe na enye sika ba oman ho bra no eno nso hunya tini nyina obehwe na watoto ni nyina se ne be ya obi a benya ne chefa na asomdwe ebeba.
On the issue of pensions, government recognizes the challenge posed by low pensions resulting from the relatively low incomes workers receive during their working life. Because government is resolved to improve pension payouts, effective 1st January this year, all pensioners on the SNP pension roll as of 31st December 2022 have had their monthly pensions increased by 25%. This year's increase is a significant improvement over the 2022 rate of 10%. And also the highest increase of annual pensions since 2005, during the time of the government of another MPP president, His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor. All these measures put together demonstrate to workers that the Akufo-Addo government is a listening one, a government which is committed to improving the lot of workers and their dependents. In the wake of the current global economic crisis, it has become even more imperative to protect workers. Our collective responsibility in achieving this objective is important, and it is for this reason that I consider the theme for today's celebration, protecting incomes and pensions in an era of economic crisis, our responsibility, as most appropriate. Secretary General, organized labor, it is evident that this current global crisis is the worst crisis the world has experienced in the past 50 years. In spite of the damaging effect of the crisis, we've managed to protect lives, livelihoods, and jobs, and kept the lights on. The crisis is having a profound impact on national economies and societies. Incomes, pensions, and investment funds are equally being affected as a result of the multiplier effects of the multifaceted crisis. Government's policy responses have been targeted at restoring macroeconomic stability, ensuring debt sustainability from the short-term mitigation options to addressing the long-term structural challenges and paving the way for sustainable and inclusive growth and development. I thank you for your attention and congratulations to all awardees. Long live trade union solidarity.
Long live!
Long live organized labor.
Long live!
May God bless organized labor and us all. And may God bless our homeland Ghana and make us great and strong.
Na mampani ekọ bogatanga no chese mantawa mejinamui boko ha enewo na asumdwe a enni ho no mampani se eyade a eba bambo ewo man Ghana mu a ha na adwen pa esanse mentime ho ase eye abusuantokwa ne ade no ama nipa bebre atoa nananom ewo nse no kyese obehwe na wasisa ohawa ewo boko na asomdwe aba ho se ne beya ne manyina bekoyie ama adehia ewo boko.
In response to the appeal by the Secretary General to intensify efforts of bringing peace to Boko, I want to assure him, and indeed the nation at large, that there is no higher priority for government on the agenda of national security than the resolution of the Boko conflict. Not only are we enhancing as we speak the security deployment in the area to promote more strongly the rule of law and hold accountable all who violate law and order in the area, we're also intensifying the efforts to find a solution to the customary tensions that underlie the Boko conflict, so that hopefully a final resolution of that conflict can be attained, just as has been attained in Gabon. Nothing will give me greater pleasure in the concluding days of my presidency than to help bring lasting peace to Boko. May God grant me the wisdom to achieve that outcome.
Na jumadie adwumayefo ne yema omo na ye de oye chocho ni pani edema Ghana Traders Union Congress TUC ono ednanum sem atudwa ono eye Dr. Anthony Yalba eno kire se aban emomodia na enwuma bi a waye na adwen se otwitwa so se enwuma bi wo ho ne ade ohwe enha adwen no omfa ne sanka bi no sanso ena aban nhwe se sika odebo no ho bra no ebe ya ontete so na ebetumi aboa kire se ohawe oman Ghana ekomu no Ghana fa ne betumi eye afrimu na aban so ehwe oman Ghana so no na na sede se odi sa adwuma no enti aban hwe na ne bi wo ho a ontwitwa so ebi se National Cathedral no ebe ya sa ne omani nyina onyai na se ne be ya sika beba aban ne nsem na odi abo oman ho bra.
Mr. President, we in organized labor hold the view that the economic crisis we are experiencing in Ghana today is self-imposed. We acknowledge the adverse effects of COVID-19 and the Russian-Ukraine war on the global economy, but we do not believe that these events are the fundamental causes of Ghana's economic crisis. COVID-19 and the war in Ukraine have only exposed the weakness of our economy and the economic policy framework that has guided economic management in Ghana in the last 40 years. The reason Ghana has had to seek IMF support almost every 3 years is largely due to the flaws in the way our economy has been managed based on the neoliberal free market ideology. We would like to reiterate our well-known position that the IMF program can never take us out of this crisis. Our history of engagements with the IMF provides ample evidence that IMF-sponsored programs and policies cannot change our economic circumstances. Another IMF program will only impose more economic burden on us. We have to change the situation ourselves as Ghanaians. We believe strongly that government can lead us out of this crisis. And the government can do so by cutting expenditure on non-essentials, including the need to stop spending our hard-earned revenue on a national cathedral.
Yada so ewo eye adwumayefo eda ehu ensemu na enura ewo nkran so mantem nyina obibia ehye ne fa na enkran owura Patrick Beyemi ono so na oye pani eda adwumayefo ewo nkran mantew no chese adwumayefo mmodia ahwese aban enya ade a sika eye adwumayefo dia na omkwa ahomdwuma de be ma no aban edinsa ebeka.
Some employers are abusing their rights to hire and fire workers. Other employers are also taking advantage of the weaknesses in the labor law and replacing permanent employment contracts with fixed-term contracts. In the last 5 years, the TUC has lost thousands of its members due to this practice, which is being promoted and facilitated by private employment agencies. That is why we have been pushing for a review of the national labor laws to protect jobs and incomes. Honorable Minister, members of the press, we are counting on you to ensure that the review of the labor law is completed this year.
We would like to allay your fears about the speculations that the government wants to touch workers' pensions. It is our responsibility to ensure that a Ghanaian worker is properly rewarded and retired honorably after many years of toil. The government is still committed to the MOU signed in December 2022. I repeat again, the government is still committed to the MOU signed in December 2022. Roger, again, your proposal to the government to consider adopting income policy that links incomes to prices and the general cost of living, review of pensions acts, strengthening pensions institutions are worth considering, as well as the need to measure performance and productivity. I would like to express our appreciation to employers and owners of production, in as much as we appreciate employers for creating jobs and contributing to the economy. The rights of the worker cannot and should not be infringed on. There are reports of abuse of workers in the country. This phenomena is unacceptable. I would like to extend a stern caution to the perpetrators of such acts of violence. Unfair labor practice is not acceptable, not in this country or any parts of the country.
Nano akwakoye adwumayefo de UTV yeso eje da no ehwe ebi mu adwenkyere sansemo ba na ebi ekita placard o ma chocho sembibri e woso efo man sika sem famagudi a yentu ni ye ho hihye ayese no ni nyina yehu bi na ebi so ma adwenkyere efa
ene yewiase nyina da watudi esi wonom ede hye adwumayefo animunyam esanse adwumayefo eti ahasuo tempentem kwahwe se wo so be ye adwuma na ne wo mo ede apemoman kanko enti mebusumi biada edikan na chese wiase atu saada ne de esi wonom na wo mo ede abo adwumayefo nyina abaso e wo kwan wodo a wo mo fa so ede previous konkan e wo nimpuntuo ensemu na enne akwakoye mede no e yade a kire se enne adwumayefo dodo no ana chese wo mo twotwatwere de awodo no a group placards so a enne na wo mo de ebontoa na ensem bia no matwotwere wo so no ebi efesikasem agensrepe ne mpataku a de kokosi sa de sisi a na wiase nyina enkoyie na afi nso o my Ghana nso ye na mpentem kwate awodo mu afi galamse ene ensensem awodo etwago wo ho nyina etwe aban na adwene ede esisu se enioma enkoyie enti onye opusu nyaka no mpusu ne ho kakra no se enioma betimi akoyie ede aboa adwadefo ne adwumayefo nso no wo mo asetena mu ensem a wode ensem no etu dwa no UTV nsantwefo yenso ye ne wo mo ebo enkomo na ye bisa wo mo se sansensem a no matwotwo placards no so no de be pote na no mpese wo mo de eka kire aban
o ma na yetimu no bosumiso a aketua de ma adwumayefo no enhye na nya aketua a ehye nkran enti adwumani bia eni dane pension so enti abaye ntumi anya hwe kra no ya pension ni de e wo so ma na ni kɔ ho sane ebe ya nipa ni wie adwuma no kofia onimisa opa etwen no na pension ni nya na se adwuma na wo ya no so enya na kyerɛ aban amboa ye for both backward and forward nti ya sha aban say domestic debt exchange program no kwan bia so mo for mo sanka adwumayefo pension na afa tier 2 no aban de ka 8 months aban entue se sika no sane ebe ya adwumayefo ho ban han
2021 Omu GSC has almost supply laptops amaye. To date, 17 months and buy. I have fan abetu adeka 17 months na yem fan buy ye here laptops ye de ye ejuma
bonds na most of the banks invest in musical room no bonds ni akwa domestic debt exchange na domestic debt exchange no favor banks no ye ejuma na ye no ye di deposits from customers ni amomu interest na hwe so bi di ni sika ababeto wo bank na wa promise ni say wo be money deposit say e fi aban ho na bosom na so anamre na so na aban say o ntimi ntua wo saa isi hu na interest na promise wo no eyesa wo ko first ka wen ana wo so wo dia ma wo customers it wo nya sika from ma wo customers eno ne ade ha
na yɛto so na yɛhwɛ enura ensem bi esi ɛwɔ Krowo municipality ɛno ɛwɔ Nungwa Broni a ɛfrɛ hɔ Raviko na ayɛho 7 ne sɛ abrantie bi a wadi mfie no aduasa wagye ne yere nkwa afiri ne nsɛm wɔbra ɔde sekan ɛkeka no a sabre ne yere no ɛnka atiasefo ho na ɔno nso akɔakɔdi apolisifoɔ nsɛm
deɛ kɔna no ɔde no man no ntimi nkasa bi no man no agya mamua no obi ede edi bɔde this lady with us no man say we dey ye kata so mo aso we dey yes obi na say mi makunta eni mi nua ba ni ana okunu mo mo nya ye ehu ye we yes obi na kaka say enye mi ana say ndie sa ban say we dey on sorry nyina na on castle no be bia no kreda no ye mratie no obi famla no ye metima ka kira ba
ne ka eto e ba jo e here wo fe nyongba ni timo wo tuo wo me wo bi agbe ni na kan separation aba fi o kodi no ne fiti e na nya sa sika fe na kan ka wo sofo ye wo tuo wo mi na ka fe no ko ya memo he ne mo la yo mi menenye mienu ete wole no ni ba yese mien sofo wala teshe domoshi no ni sani wo sofo no papa sabuafo ya everybody sa fe ye sani ne mi hu mi ji o chame ni domogbana ne no mi hu no ni sani ma fe ye mi so sofo ekuma na bu ha agbe ni ngbe na be fata ni no ni water mi ne eba mi na kan in domoshi mi ji o chame ni domoshi in fe engagement mi yo chame no one listen here fe bila kokura ni mi yaso mo ba chobi ani ba no sofo ko no bra no na chukaba ke wokume ni abakpa fa ni gbe kan aya ni nka da bia meya o sofo ya meya ko ni gbe kan hinsi ko ni gbe ke to ajo emi a se hefio si boni ka fe kan bakpa fa ke gbe ke te keke e ayile keke ba keke ya fole keke ya jile keke ba
Etwan sebro so na yereko agudie ensemu yehwe Ghana Premiership na atwa wie ebi ekoso na atwa toso aduno enkron enche na yewie emu ayedin ebi pele gaje ebi nso press of Mbeka League no mu na memendara House of Folk shemienu Kimfesa ntumi antibi kwasi aramaje se course ni Beche United shemienu Samate Sante Ekanibi Akala Lions sheba ko ofie RTU ebehye ne karemienu Karela 4 ehye 9 Brikum Chelsea team ba ko nso atema sheba ko mediama ntumi ante na bebie ne goals sheba ko Olympics agoso ntumi ante ekano Dreams FC ehye enum Legon City set kanemu ba ko Kumasa Sante ko sheba ko Sanso ena Tamale City ehye ba ko enrei match course na Kotoku Royals ene Aduana Stars omonso eye tipenko a obi ahye ne nyonko eka baako yenhwa agopama so sede na ABCT
chances upon chances, opportunities being created at both ends of the field. Oh, that's a goal! Against the run of play, and it's Minta who registers the first goal for Aduana. Elated.
Yeah, it's a striker's finish. Astonishing finish. Lovely finish.
Right time. Lifted into the 18-yard box. Boache will get the header out. Still looking for an... Drilled in nicely. Oh, they're back in the game. He had to drill that in. And it looks like it took a ricochet of one of the players.
Here's Yaya Mohammed. That's all to find Kamara Dini Mamadou, and that's the first goal